It's been a crazy year watching the meltdowns of Ethan Van Sciver and your boy Zach. Of course, your boy Zach turned away all the customers that were formerly following him because he just wants to attack people who want to fight the culture war now, since he never actually wanted to. He wanted to work for Marvel and DC. And Ethan Van Sciver, who, of course, co-opted Comicsgate early on and made it his own sort of personal army for a while, now has gone to the point where he's canceled so many creators that it's clearly not about any sort of independent comics movement. It's never about comics at all. It's in fact just about his own little narcissism as he goes out and spends his entire day, almost every day, attacking Eric July for, what? Producing comics. Now, he went very, very hard on me the last 6 months, trying to cancel me, making sure that his audience, wouldn't buy my books because he's scared. He's scared because our books are really, really good, and we come out with them on a regular basis. We're the actual alternative to Marvel and DC Comics over here, and it gets egg on his face when he can't produce a 48-page, silly, gay, Rainbow Bright parody book, which is kind of stupid, for 3+ years. It doesn't look very good. It doesn't look like you're focused on the comics whatsoever. And he knows this. And so this is what he's done consistently. It's not just me. You can see the list from Student of God. He's got a whole host of people. And a lot of these, their only crime was actually producing comics on a regular basis and actually doing the work. And so we're going to get into exactly what's happening here. And then his response, where he's proud of the fact that he canceled people and then tries to gaslight his fans about it afterwards. It's a very, very bizarre look. But this is exactly what these guys have been doing for the last few months. It's really sad watching it all collapse because I liked the Comicsgate movement initially. I was an early part of it, far before Ethan Van Sciver even showed up. And we just have to define our movements more clearly, make sure that this kind of stuff doesn't happen in the future. And our independent comic movement over here is about a few things. One, we are opposing the mainstream industry, its degeneracy, and its ideological propaganda that it's pushing. It is a left-wing evil agenda, and we will always oppose it. Number two, we are an overtly Christian nationalist movement, because if you don't have Christ, you don't have real values. We want to produce comic books that have real heroism, that have real values to it, and we want to espouse those values, of course, for the greater kingdom of God. Number three, we actually are hard workers. We love the medium. We produce the work. We get them done in a timely manner, and we do everything we can to improve ourselves every single time to provide the best experience possible for our customers and, of course, for our friends and fans. We appreciate all of you. And that's it. That's our movement now. So I hope you'll join us on board here. Like I said, we're going to be explicit about it because this guy's been so cagey, so wormy about things, that he won't be explicit about things because it changes weekly of what Comicsgate's about. And all it's about now is just hating me and Eric July and Yellow Flash. It's really weird. Really, really weird. I feel bad for him at the end of the day, but not that bad because we're making waves over here. So please hit the like and subscribe button and join us and join our community, guys. This is my Hidden Emperor pre-order. I just delivered this out digitally to all the Kickstarter backers and already had people telling me that it's some of their favorite comics of all time. This is a spy thriller in space. I love writing spy thrillers in space. And it is part of a property, which is the Terra and Imperium Chronicles, which is going to be a Star Wars replacement. There's nobody else out there really building a full universe in independent comics of different space adventures. We're doing that. We've got Space Marines coming down the pipeline. We've got some Gundam type of book in the works as well. I'm going to have some space pirates in here also. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I'd love for you to get in on this now. So grab this. As I'm going to print, we are going to print in the next couple of weeks, and then we're going to close this off. And as I'm getting the files ready, getting things up to date, and of course going to get my proof copy in the next week or so, here is the Hidden Emperor. Grab it in its multiple formats. We got a paperback hardcover. Of course, we've got a leather-bound edition as well that combines with the other book, Overmind, in the series. This is going to take a little longer to come out with because they are hand-bound, and the leather books are beautiful, guys, but it is worth it, and I'm excited. I can't wait to get one of these myself. I also have all my other books on here. If you wanted to check out anything, if anything spoke to you, I'm definitely happy to have you as a customer. Thank you so much for the support that's in the description below. We closed the campaign out at 51,000. This is our biggest campaign yet, and I expect the best is yet to come on this level too, as we have a lot of cool stuff dropping very, very soon. Okay. the list of people canceled here. Vox Day, the first one, and again, Vox was creating Archaven Comics was his crime, and because of that, and if you can actually go on Archaven Comics and you can read a bunch of free comics like webtoons, right? And you could see it right here. There's tons of stuff, and Hyperga Mouse is one he's got as a campaign right now on Kickstarter. There's all sorts of genres. This is like the old newspaper strips with like Garfield, but different things. And Chuck Dixon puts up a bunch of comics on here. Ethan couldn't have that because if people discovered this, he knows that the grift's up. He knew that he couldn't do this when there's an actual competitor that's doing things. So he got canceled back in 2018. They said he was too right-wing. They did the same to me, said I was too right-wing, said I couldn't, we didn't want that in our movement because it made the SJWs right about the racist, sexist bigots. And they got mad at me about that. Really, really sad. But it's really because I was coming out with comics regularly. Still am. I mean, it's I'm out here with 12 graphic novels, multiple single issues. I've got a Subscribestar and Patreon where I'm putting out 4 pages of comic a month just from the subscribers there. That's exclusive on top of all this stuff. We're a real comic business over here. Eric July, it's the exact same thing. PTP actually came out with a bunch of comics. They're really good. He doesn't want that seen. Tim Lim and Iconic Comics, much the same way. You can see the pattern. It's the lash out every single time. And so this list is pretty long. This is a lot of people who got canceled. And he actually did a stream doing cope about it. And he, of course, it's because they're all pieces of shit, and I hate them all. Like every single one of them. It was like, okay, maybe, you should self-reflect at some point. And the fact that you had to cancel all these people and you're collapsing your movement in real time, your campaigns are selling less, you're losing subscribers. Maybe it's your behavior, bro. Maybe it's time to stop that kind of thing. But it's been months of this, of course. And what happened at some point was Ethan actually went out and then was called out on it. And he was put, said, this is so tacky, a kill count for the people that he's canceled. So he's proud of it. He knows he's canceled people. He knows he's done it, and he it's not really effective anymore. Last time he did it to me in 2018, it was really scary. I actually lost 1,000 followers overnight. Over the course of a couple weeks, and then my book sales dropped by about a third. And so it was frightening because he had his personal army on me real hard. They don't really have power anymore, and the people that follow him don't really read comics anymore. So this time it didn't matter at all. It didn't impact my business whatsoever. He tried so hard to cancel the Hidden Emperor campaign. Like the week before it dropped, he put out all this misinformation and all this saying, I'm going to dox all the backers and things like that. It was really ugly. I've never seen somebody try to cancel somebody else's Kickstarter campaign so far hard. And of course, he got his personal army people out there posting and saying, report him on Kickstarter, trying to get me kicked off before the campaign closed too. It didn't work. Kickstarter didn't listen because, again, I'm just a creator who delivers comics, and I do so regularly. It's I'm a creator they want on their platform because I'm just doing comics and doing the work. There's nothing offensive about my comics. They're in fact, a lot of Kickstarter stuff has a problem with a bunch of pornography comics on there. I don't do that. I just have regular comics, and they need more of that on there. So sorry, guys, didn't work. I actually did the opposite. And so interesting stuff. It's really tacky, really awful to go out and brag about canceling people, especially other right wingers in the space. Like it's not like he's bragging about some problem. Marvel Comics like getting a title canceled or whatever because it's too woke. He's actually just going at culture warriors, and it's sad to watch. It's really tragic. But it goes further. So when he posted this, of course, he's got me blocked. So like behind a block, he quote tweets me anyway because he's that much of a chicken, like to even have me be able to comment. He knows that if people find me and discover me and actually see what I say, and if I respond, that it's not going to go well for him at this juncture because he's in the wrong, is what it comes. Even though his following's much bigger than mine. He's in the wrong. And so he tried to mock it here. I just called out Marvel and DC and told them never to hire John Delarose, or I'd run a smear pieces about how they hate the gays on Fandom Pulse. And then I'd get them debanked. Cancel Frog. So this is pretty funny. So he's acting like that's what's meant by cancel at this point. But obviously, we're all in the independent space, and all of us were here as a like, hey, we're already blacklisted from Marvel and DC. And so we are trying to do something different. And this was the space to do something different, to work together. Again, he tried to get my people to not back my campaign under false pretenses. He tried to get people, hating my books. It was really, really sad. He absolutely worked really, really hard to try to cancel me. And he has succeeded in canceling a lot of people on that list where they lost a lot of their followings because they didn't have their own followings. And he was the space, and Comicsgate was the space in order to do that. So it's really sad to see, again. But it is something that is just not effective anymore. Now, it's interesting because he actually set up the Comicsgate Kings and all that as a gatekeeping sort of tool to make it like, hey, you have to have been a Marvel and DC pro in order to be a real king. And so despite, the fact that we're trying to fight Marvel and DC because they're stupid and everything and their decisions are bad, he wanted to make it a gatekeeping thing to where the comic industry still just has the same problems, which is that it's just all Marvel and DC centric. And he did that in order to try to build some credibility for himself, because he knew that if it was just him, it would be one thing. But if he could get a bunch of like retired pros and whatnot from Marvel and DC around him, it makes him look like he's like got some legitimacy, at least to the eyes of comic people who are still simping for Marvel and DC, even despite the fact that they're angry with them, because that's all they really care about in comics. And so it was a grift in order to attempt to do that. And the fact that he's like using this passive aggressively as a like Marvel and DC is the gatekeeping tool. The fact that I'll never work for Marvel and DC, like he's trying to point that out to his audience that like Marvel and DC is all that matters and that he's a DC artist and so that matters. It's another weird psychological manipulation attempt. But you know what? We've all moved on from that. Marvel and DC suck. We're not interested in them anymore. We laugh at them. We mock their terrible choices, and working there is not some sort of like boon. In fact, having never been hired by Marvel and DC is an actual benefit, and that's what makes us make better comics, because we've never had that influence of the mainstream industry that's made a lot of stupid, toxic decisions over the years, and it still gets continued to be made by folk like this. It's sad to watch, but this is where it's at. This is where him and your boy Zach have gone, and we're building a better movement is what it comes down to. Thank you guys for watching, and thank you so much for supporting. I vow to always fight the culture war here. Our movement is on its way forward. We're crushing it, and please check out the Hidden Emperor on BackerKit right now. Really appreciate y'all for being there and for all the tremendous support so far. It's in the description below. Grab this before it's gone in the next couple weeks. Thank you so much.